following words. 2 Timothy, chapter number 2, he tells you these words. Study to show yourself approved unto God, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Now the word used there, study, in Greek, the Greek word used study, since I'm talking to theologians, we can talk Greek. When you're out there, you don't talk Greek. I mean, when you're talking to church and you speak Greek, I think you'll be wasting your time and wasting their time. But in Bible, you can. So the word used there, spaudoson, means has been interpreted in many versions of the Bible. Study, be eager, work hard, do your best, be diligent, has been interpreted in all those words. But the point I'm getting at is, when now we come to the question of what Paul is trying to tell Timothy, he's telling him, don't just go there and give nonsense to people. You need to be able to study, understand what you're telling the people. And after you do that, then you are going to be a workman that's approved, not by men, because the first thing that you need to be approved of as a minister of the gospel is not by men, but by God. Because actually you're going there not to serve yourself, but to serve God. So he says, be a workman that needs not be ashamed, but one who is approved. Why are you approved? Because you are dividing the word of truth. You are able to be a good worker, to be able to reach the people at their level. I'm proud of your vice chancellor, because the first time I met her, we almost had a fight. Of course, you can't remember, but that's a couple of years ago. She was teaching Sunday school, where my kids were going to Sunday school. And my kids were learning because their is allowed, so they want to come and be with their team. But she came and said, no, you don't do that. What you do, I want you in a particular class so that I can teach you there. And of course, they ended up there in that class because she won the battle. Of course, they did not win the battle, she won the battle. But the point I'm getting at is, when you come from this place, you have all avenues, all opportunities. Sometimes to do with very high level people, other times to do with very low level in terms of their understanding. But for you to be able to divide that correctly, so that you are able now to tell people, this is exactly what it means. It's the same message, same gospel, but when you preach it to professors, it's the same message that Christ died and resurrected. You don't change that. But the approach is different from the same way that you go to fellows who are in primary school. It's very different. But that's what Paul is telling Timothy here, that study so that you're able to correctly divide between the people. But when you just go there and you are not able to do that, you do a mess. Like I said, I'm from Jomo Kenyatta University. And as a chaplain, I've observed a couple of things. First, I have some people there, the Christian Union. Thank God for the Christian Union here. There, they do not entertain nonsense. If you come there and you are just preaching things you do not make sense, the chairman has a very good way of putting you down. What he does, he writes messages to praise and worship. So the praise and worship should go to the front. So the speaker looks like his praise and worship behind him. So he wonders what's happening. So in the bewilderment, the chairman comes and tells you, can you have a word? And of course he tells you after that, you are not going to preach. Now, it is as bad as that. That's when you come and preach nonsense, they tell you, not here. Because we are in a situation where people watch content, not noise. They watch content. I came with a bishop, a very well-known bishop in the country. So I thought now, a very well-known bishop should come and deliver. But when he came there to preach, he said, you call a Jew? So the chairman said, we normally have 3 services. So me, priest, chaplain, ensure he doesn't come in the second service. So when I told the bishop, because he was ready to go, when I started the second service, he said, I'm sorry, you are not. What do you mean I'm not preaching the second service? But you're not preaching the second service. Because people are looking for content. So when you go there and you have no content, time and again you are making yes. Well, not exactly full of yourself, but you're trying to make a fool of them. Because telling them, Mikono Jew, and they want to listen to what you're saying. So Mikono Jew is not the message. But here's the thing. So 2 weeks ago, I was just seated in the church. I was supposed to preach, but I did not preach because I wasn't doing very well. So I was just seated there. And then I'm told the Christian Union is calling me outside here. So I go outside. Where do you want to be? Please, the speaker now cannot continue preaching. He's just talking nonsense. So can you quickly come, prepare something to preach? Because you can't have that. So what am I trying to get at? I'm saying, why do you study? You study because you need to be able to address people appropriately. Know who you're addressing, and then be able to tell them what you're telling them. Same message doesn't change, and I debate that. There's no message you're going to change because of who you are going to deal with. But in that message, the way of delivery matters a lot. So where do we study? We study so that we are not ashamed. We can do what to be a good work, we're not ashamed. We're able to give the gospel as it is, able to actually define the word of truth, so that we do not just make a mess out of it. And that's what now somebody has said. This Stephen Cole, in his book Godly Leadership, he has said the following: a godly leader, which is what we have been trained to be, is marked by faithful biblical teaching, able to teach biblical and to give biblical teaching. And he was trying to explain Acts 20, verses 17 to 21. And he was saying, in verse 20 and 21, he says, he brings 5 aspects of teaching. And in the 5 aspects, he says, a faithful biblical teacher requires not to dodge difficult truths. You know, when you come to teach, sometimes you just keep away the things that are difficult. We just want to concentrate on the simple ones. Now, as a biblical preacher, as a biblical speaker, you have no way of dodging. You have to deal with that. A faithful biblical teacher requires practical application that help people grow in their faith. Because the whole idea is to help people grow in their faith. So you need to be practical in what you're telling them. So you do not just tell them about Jebusites and Perizzites. They want to know after that what. Okay.